Genesis 46 is a continuation of the story of Jacob. He's headed to Egypt, where his son Joseph is the governor. Pharaoh has basically sent for them and said, hey, bring your family here. We'll take care of them through the famine and everything else that's going on in both Egypt and Canaan. And early on in the chapter, Jacob and the family are headed towards Egypt. They stop in Beersheba, where Jacob prays, offers sacrifice, and meets with the Lord. And this voice begins to speak to him. Check it out, verses 3 and 4. I am God, the God of your father, the voice said. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make your family into a great nation. I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring you back again. You will die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you to close your eyes. Now, if we think about the story up to this moment, like God has promised Abraham, Isaac, and now Jacob to make them into a great nation. He's told them the promised land is Canaan, but now Canaan is suffering from famine, and now Jacob is being invited to come into Egypt. Now, this is a different place. This is not Canaan. And so God is like, hey, go ahead and go. I know that I promised you Canaan. Go ahead and go to Egypt, because in this season, Egypt is actually going to be your deliverance. Egypt is going to be your survival. I've orchestrated and worked through all of these moments to bring us to this moment where Joseph is able to provide for you and your family and your livestock and your kids and all of that, right? And then God tells Jacob, hey, you're gonna die in Egypt. I know I promised you Canaan, and I'm telling you to leave Canaan. You're gonna go to Egypt and you're gonna die in Egypt, but I'm gonna go with you and you're gonna be brought back. This is a picture that he is painting that is much bigger than Jacob. There's a lot that's at play, a lot that's at work. There's a legacy at play here. And God is just encouraging and reminding Jacob, like, hey, this was never really fully about you. Like, I'm God. This is my story. This is my legacy. Like, we know that from the line of Jacob, we eventually get to Jesus. And that's what it was always about. All of this was pointing to Jesus. And it's just really refreshing and encouraging and challenging all at the same time that God is basically telling Jacob, things are not going to turn out how you want them to, but they're still going to turn out how I want them to. I want you to trust me, and I want you to know that I'm going to be with you even when it's hard. That's encouraging to me. I hope that that's encouraging to you today, to be able to just recognize that God is with you even as you go through the hard, even as you go through things that you think might be the end of you. Like, God is still going with you. If he's called you to a place, man, he's not going to leave you hanging out to dry. He's not going to abandon you in that moment. So continue to lean in, continue to trust. You got this, because God's got this. Make today count.